Welcome, everybody. Race 2 of the ARCS A Cup Series playoffs brings us here to Kansas Speedway. Mile-and-a-half racing here tonight at one of the more fan-favorite intermediate ovals on the calendar with 9 races to go in the season. Welcome to Kansas. Welcome to the playoffs. I'm Carmen, Sienna, alongside me, Kevin Young, as always, to present tonight's race from Kansas Speedway. Qualifying underway for most of the field here. But Kevin, obviously this track, we've seen it already. We saw it in the spring. A little bit hotter, a little bit more on the line tonight. What are we looking forward to here at Kansas?
Well, it's going to be, it's a playoff race, so a lot of drivers, some that had good weeks last week, others that didn't have as good weeks. Emma Kruger, Kevin Feemster, Stefan Oberstadt come to mind in that category. They're going to have good runs here to try to salvage points. But what we're going to look at on the track is we're going to see usually that middle to high groove be kind of the lane we see, but we're also going to see some drivers like to go low. It's kind of a track where there's a few different grooves you can try for the daring, but as the run goes on, the cars are going to have to go a little bit further down the racing surface to make sure the car stays planted. But at the very least, it's going to be entertaining racing, no doubt.
Points as they run after last week's race here in the A Cup Series playoffs. Obviously, Tommy Reynolds entered the race last week with a huge buffer, having the most wins, the most bonus points there to kick off the playoffs. He holds on to that, but Bryn Roberts obviously punched his ticket into the round at 12 last week, getting a race win to kick off the playoffs there at Darlington. Daniel Michelle in 3rd place there in points. Again, top 12 advance after next week's race. So, very important to get back on level footing there. Kevin Feemster at the cutoff line at the moment, so you have to be at or above where Kevin Feemster's at right now by the end of next week. Emma Kruger.
Go ahead, finish your point. I was going to say one interesting fun fact about this is that in Kansas, the top 4 were Tommy Reynolds, Bryn Roberts, Daniel Michelle, and Brandon Feather Place. And if you look at the standings, that is the top 4 right now in the standings, so... Yeah. The very least, top 4 are looking good here tonight. But to finish your point, at least on Kruger is going to need to have a good night here in order to try to get herself back up in the top 12.
Qualifying mostly done here tonight. 22 cars set to take to the track here in tonight's race. 21 of set lap times. Everyone but Austin Mongold has already qualified. You had an idea as to the running order on the left side of your screen. It's been a busy day here on a wonderful Sunday evening. With 2 minutes left in qualifying, there are no heats. For those that are that have watched sporadically throughout this season, the heats are all just in the regular season. There's no qualifying heats. Qualifying from now to the end of the season, where you qualify is where you start the race. There's no additional time to make up positions. There's no additional melee to take advantage of. So Brandon Proudfoot right now will have provisional pole ahead of Daniel Michelle, Stephen Oberstadt, and then Donald Ray.
Patrick Oberstadt. Yeah, Patrick Oberstadt. Well, what's interesting to note is in that top 5 right now, 3 out of the 5 are non-playoff drivers, spoilers, if you will. If they win, doesn't really affect anything in the playoffs per se with a win you're in system. So, well, win you're in for a driver advancing next round, I should say, not in the playoffs itself. So if Proudfoot, Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, or Donald Ray were to win, they would just steal a win that another driver could use to lock themselves into the playoffs. So it looks like, again, with the times, a lot of good cars competitively. Look at the top 10, separated by 0.12 tenths, if you will, between 1st and 10th. So a lot of strong cars here, so I don't think we're going to see a big runaway here, at least at the moment, in this race.
This race was super competitive in the spring. However, it is going to be a little bit hotter. As we pull up the weather information there, 120 degrees of track tip, almost 15 degrees hotter than what it was earlier this year. But a lot less wind as well. So we'll see how that has an effect on the drivers once this race gets underway. This track, beloved by drivers and by fans, progressive banking is what makes this track pretty well renowned. which means you can run the inside and the outside lane and gather the same speed. With the progressive banking, it gets more steep the more banking that there is at the top of the racetrack compared to the bottom. So not very many racetracks do that. Kansas is renowned for that. Same with Homestead Miami Speedway. The progressive banking there going to be pretty important to how this race unfolds here this evening. Qualifying is complete. So pull up the full result from qualifying here. Brandon Proudfoot takes pole position by 21 milliseconds. Daniel Michel, looking for a race win, was denied last week in a Sunday Money Racing 1-2-3. It was Bryn Roberts that led the way home. Patrick Oberstadt for Prophecy Motorsports will start third inside row 2. Then Donald Ray, David Wright, Seth Wansing, Josh Gaiman, Tommy Reynolds, Tom Sears, and Stephen Oberstadt in the top 10. As you look throughout the starting grid here, going to be very imperative for some drivers to try and make up positions here. And we talked about how Kevin Feemster was on the very edge of that cut line. Not going to be very helpful for him here this weekend, starting back in the 20th position. Tommy Withers also not in a great starting spot either, with the cut line so close. Going to be imperative to make the most of races like tonight. Tommy Withers has the ability to do something like that. One at a track similar to Kansas, one at Las Vegas earlier this season. Typically does well at tracks like Kansas. So we'll see if he can get from 21st on the grid. He was the last car in qualifying to set a lap time. The only car that did not set a lap time was Austin Mongold. But practice, final warm-up underway. Josh Gaiman currently top of the board. With about 3 minutes left to play in tonight's event before the race unfolds. David Wright just went top of the board.
His last minute warm is a good chance. Even if you're not going to get a lot of long-term practice, it's at least a good in a sense. As big lick there for the 41 of Oberstadt. Bounce off the wall hard. But back to the point, though. It's a good time, again, practice draft, practice how the car handles, and even not going to get long-term practice, know how the car handles in a run. At the very least, you can use this knowledge in the back of your mind if you get a short-term run or on restarts, see how this car handles, and also practice pit road entry and exit. It may not be the trickiest, but it's always good to practice it just to make sure you get the car woed down.
Using this time to get some final warm-up in. Emma Kruger just went third fastest in warm-up, so chance of showing off some race pace early on here.
Looking at the list of playoff drivers here, only 2 drivers bearing a miracle coming in the next 120, but they wouldn't probably be allowed anyway because of not participating in qualifying. Only 2 playoff drivers have not made the field here tonight, and that is Jeremy Braille, second week he has missed so far in this playoffs, and speaking of Austin Pinnell as well, second miss he has made so far. So 14 out of 16 playoff drivers are here, so the 2 drivers in the danger zone not going to be here again, and that's going to really put them in a must-win situation next week if they're able to attend. So at the very least, it's not good if you're on the cut line per se, because it gives less cars you can try to chase down that maybe can make it points, but at the very least, 2 less spots that are hard to fall out of. That's one more look at the championship standings right there on the screen. Again, led by Reynolds. looking again strong earlier this year at Kansas. Again, like you were hinting at Carmen earlier, it's a track that he is quite good at. He thrives in these environments, but we also know there's a lot of other drivers here that are quite strong as well. Just looking at the qualifying time, so we'll have to see how it all plays out. But a lot of drivers looking to get that win, so don't have to worry next week at Bristol night race to see if they can ensure that they can get in and not have to worry about short track madness.
Warm-up will conclude here at Kansas Speedway for the second race in the playoffs. Again, for those that are just tuning in, I'm Carmen Sienna alongside me, Kevin Young, to present race 2 of the ARCS ACE Cup Series playoffs. Track temperature going down, but the action's about to heat up here at the 1.5 mile oval, just on the inside of the Kansas state border. Starting grid, Brandon Proudfoot, front of the field. He will start P1 in tonight's race alongside Daniel Michel. Patrick Oberstadt, Donald Ray in row 2. David Wright and Seth Wansing make up row 3. Then it's Josh Gaiman and Tommy Reynolds in row number 4. Row 5, you'll find Tom Sears and Stephen Oberstadt. Row 6, Bryn Roberts and Mike LaJoy. Looking further on down in this 22-car field, there's Edward Marshall and Matthew Leiter in row 7. Row 8, Brandon Fetterplace alongside Ryan Pinnell, El Presidente. Row 9, Emma Kruger and James Kerr. We know Kruger's got race pace in that number 70 for line power. Just got to get it out and try to get some points early. Stage points matter as well here. So, got to get to the top 10 quickly in this race. Elvis George and Kevin Feemster in row 10. Tommy Withers and Austin Mongold will make up this 22-car field from the back in row 11. Again, for those unaware, Patriot Day in the U.S. tomorrow, the 22nd anniversary of the September 11th attacks. This is a Patriot night. So you'll see a lot of patriotic schemes. The 41's running one, same with the 50. That's Patrick Everstadt and Donald Ray in row 2. Several cars in this 22-car field running Patriot schemes. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Kansas.
Like, I was gonna say, everyone gets through plane 1. That's not gonna be the case. Gaiman around, and that's gonna be a quick caution. And the bad luck for Gaiman continues. He's already wrong way around here on lap number 1. And kind of just see him go off the straight there. They're almost 3 wide, so I was like, this may not end well. It almost did, and then it didn't.
And I believe that started when Donald Ray got hooked. So I have to go back and look at it, but I believe Donald Ray got hooked, was out on the outside. You mentioned that three-wide situation on lap 1. On cold tires, hard to get off each other on that one. And you see what happens there. And I believe Donald Ray actually tagged the wall there. We'll see if we can get a better angle of it. 50-car play in slow motion here. We'll have to see if we can get an up above shot from our chopper cam. And he's already snapping loose. He tags the wall on his own.
And there's Seth Wansing that's going to give him a little tap there and send him down. And he almost gets through, but right there's Gaiman. And he also gets a little tap there. Sears trying to run down the surface, going to get a little side swipe too. So luckily Gaiman gets not hit by anything else. He kind of just luckily gets, well, I was going to say gets skirted, but actually gets hit there by that black acid machine of LaJoy. So, and also Alfred George. So maybe a little less than ideal, but the grand scheme of things, that could have been a lot worse for that 61 with damage he took.
On board with Josh Gaiman as he gets tagged by Donald Ray.
Yeah, at that point he was just kind of looking forward and then got just just next thing you know, he gets hit by Donald Ray and spun around. Kind of just stinks on that point. Just wondering, it's always been a weird situation for Game in this situation, as he either has good luck and is dominating a race, or he ends up having bad luck and is involved in an incident of some sorts. Now we'll check on Seth Wansing on board here, as he was kind of behind the 50 and gives the tap that sends off the chain reaction here. Obviously not on purpose, teammate to teammate, but just a hit there, sends him across, and Wansing moves on through. Back to live action, you can see Donald Ray coming out of the pit lane along with Tom Sears. Sears, Gaiman, Ray, Michael Joy, Alfred George, all the cars involved in the opening lap incident came in, along with Tommy Withers, Matthew Leiter, Austin Mongol, Kevin Feemster, James Kerr, Seth Wansing, and David Wright. So top 11 on down, 11 on down elected to pit. Top 10 electing to stay out here and not try to either get off sequence or fix any damage they may have incurred. So we had the choose just in effect there. You can see Proudfoot Michelle, row 1, with Oberstadt and Reynolds, row 2. Edward Marshall and Stefan Oberstadt, row number 3. Fred Place and Ryan Pinnell, row 4. And Emma Kruger and Bren Roberts will be the first 5 rows here. Top 10 kind of stayed remotely the same here. Odd in, odd in, odd in. No major line preference yet, but we may see that as go on. We'll see who likes to go high and low. It's going to pull off here. Green flag is out, and away we go again. Still kind of gets a little bit bogged down, had a little wheel spin. He could be under pressure here for position number 2. So getting a bit racy here, almost 3 wide for second. So everyone holding kind of station. You can see a lot of cars grooving to that top line. Kansas being one of those tracks that's very comfortable to run that top line and get a good line here. Everyone kind of jumping throughout the back of the pack, but very much almost single file for the first top 10 here at the very least. There's our race leader, Brandon Proudfoot. Second's got a bit of a charge here for him, and Michelle under pressure here from Tommy Reynolds, current points leader in the playoff standings. You know, so far winless in this playoffs. Just look at that back there. You can just see basically a carport. Everyone kind of locked on one side. A little bit argy-bargy. Speaking of that back there, actually that's still Tommy Reynolds we're focusing on.
Another caution.
And we have a caution. That's going to be the 75 of James Kerr and the 88 of Mike LaJoy.
Oh no, teammates.
Not 100% if they were involved together, but both are slow. So we'll take a look at the replay here. Here's Mike LaJoy. And you can see obviously the incidents with Gaiman and 75.
Ooh. Yeah, that happened long before it ever actually got to the 75, long before it even got to Mike LaJoy. That was a car in the wall.
That's the 4 of Mongold, and then, ooh.
I think Gaiman was just trying to give space to Mongold.
Yeah.
As they were coming out of the corner there.
And then James Kerr didn't have a clue he was there, and then at that point, and the thing is, the caution came out late because of the call, because we do have a, well, we'll say that in a minute, but you can just see one more replay here. Again, Mongold's in the wall. I saw him falling down the timing and scoring. Gaiman makes it 3 wide, and then you can see that 75 is coming up the racetrack. Looks like it's not as planted. 61's coming down to leave space, and then they meet in the middle, and they get stuck on each other. Just 2 cars fighting over that ham sandwich, and now both in the wall, and then 75 trying to, like, get it broken down here, and it's ping-pongs off the front, goes the opposite direction. After hitting that wall one more time, and then at that point, 2 cars just pile in, Ray and Michael Joy. Hearing a bit of radio chatter here, McCruger maybe having a bit of some connection issues here, at least with lag. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it can smooth out for her, as she needs a good run. But that's not what she wants to hear. Being a driver outside the top 12, hearing that you have some connection issues, you only send a worry down the throat. So choose cone in effect here. See Proudfoot going to go low, Michelle going to go high. Then it's going to be Oberstadt and Reynolds, low, high. And then it's going to be pretty much 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Because not many cars are going to deviate from one line to the other. Yeah, his first 10 there are going to go left, right, left, right, left, right. So Proudfoot, Michelle, Oberstadt, Reynolds, Marshall, Featherplace, Roberts, Pinnell, Oberstadt, Kruger, your top 10 at the moment. All cars still running in this race at the moment. No car, 1 down. So pace car going to come on in here. Green flag is out, and away we go again. A little bit better restart from the 25 there, less pressure. Reynolds going to try to push, try to get ahead of the 41 here to keep that 3rd position. Ooh, car loose there. Also another one in the wall hard. And that's going to be a 3rd caution of the night there. Looks like the big trouble off 2. It looks like the 70 Emma Kruger got turned. There's a 75 of James Kerr. And I think Gaiman may have possibly been involved the 3rd time. Actually, he wasn't, but just not too thrilled with the caution. So anyway, we'll take a look at the replay here. Take it from the blimp cam here. You can see 3 wide there. Oh, Emma Kruger had a bit of an open hole there, and it just closed. And then, yep, the 4 was involved. 75 piles in hard. Yeah, checkup kind of caused that effect there. Take another look here on board of the 75 of James Kerr. See, very far away. Checkup's happening here. Sees the smoke, thinks he can make through. Thought they were going lower, and ends up piling in there. And then almost avoids Donald Ray. Donald Ray also involved in this incident as well. It's 3 straight cautions Donald Ray has been involved in. Not very happy the 50 probably is, but away we'll fly. Back to live action here. Handful of cars coming on in for pit stop service. Josh Gaiman, Donald Ray, Seth Wanzing, Matthew Leiter, Emma Kruger, James Kerr, Kevin Feemster, and Austin Mongold all likely to come in. Some obviously for damage, others for different sequences here, maybe to top off on fuel, like Josh Gaiman just did with this 5-second stop. Yeah, you can see Kruger still with the connection issue there, blinking in and out in her pit box. And there goes Matthew Leiter. Now, for some of those cars that are involved, obviously, do wonder, like Don Ray's been involved in 3 incidents so far, with that damage clock kind of going over 38, 39. All cars do have 1 fast repair, but the question is, how many of these drivers still have it if they're involved in all 3 incidences? And for all these cars here, at least fixing damage, at the very least, they are either hanging on to it, they think they can get it fixed up and not want to burn it yet, or they may not have it. But the 4, the 75 will lead the pit lane in time. It looks like it's going to be a mad scramble, but everyone's going to make it out in time, it looks like. And they all successfully will, so no car will go a lap down here on this cycle. As we saw choose there as that's happened. Again, cars went high-low for the most part, with Proudfoot, Reynolds in the first row, Dave Michelle, Patrick Oberstadt, row number 2, Feather Place, and Ryan Pennell up a few spots here in row 3, Oberstadt and Bren Roberts, Edward Marshall, David Wright, your first 5 rows here.
Proudfoot, Tommy Reynolds, Daniel Michelle, Patrick Oberstadt leading us back to green flag action. 3 cautions in quick succession here in stage 1. Stage 1 doesn't end until lap 40. But green flag back in the air.
No, I have to keep an eye on corner 2 here. It's been a bit of a tricky spot with cars being aggressive here with this setup, so we'll see if everyone gets through okay. A little bit argy-bargy, but everyone's at least good through the moment. See that battle for second there, Proudfoot, Michelle and Reynolds fighting hard for second. There's Feather Place there, under attack from Oberstadt. The drivers that finished 1, 3, and 4 at the spring race in Kansas currently 2, 3, and 5 at the moment. Having good runs at the moment. Reynolds just clips the wall there a little bit, saves it. Luckily, Oberstadt was a little bit farther back, or else he could have got hooked. But no harm, well, a little bit of harm there, but no foul, as he'll keep pointing the right direction. That's the dangers of running the high wall there. Get a little too close, give it a kiss. If you get a little too hard of a kiss, it could send you the other direction. Little tap there for the 34 as well. We're right on board here with Daniel Michelle. Car in second place. Kind of give you a perspective of what it is to run here. And you can see as the run's gone on, cars have gone lower and lower. They've kind of pinched that apron and run off. And you can see Proudfoot there taking the dog leg, cutting the dog leg just to get as best, at the shortest distance around as he thinks he can. Reynolds going to get a run on the inside here. He's going to have to try to slide up, though, and he's just not going to have the angle there to get the run off. He'll have to tuck back in here. And it's about kind of just getting it down low, getting the run you need, and popping out there. At the very least, though, I think Carmen's going to be quite thrilled to see a Bengals logo on the rear deck there.
Not after today's game.
Yeah, I know. They got smoked by Cleveland, but at the very least. Here's Tommy Reynolds, though. You can see from his rear perspective, though, now back to his onboard camera. Ooh, Leiter looks like he was in an incident there. Slow out of 2. That's going to be a caution along with Feemster. He was involved. And, oh, that looks kind of tore up a little bit. Feemster almost gets piled in there by someone. I think it was a 70 Kruger.
Yeah, it was 70 Kruger there.
So another caution here. 4 cautions within the first stage here. Bit chaotic. Looks like Leiter's going to have this to tow. And he will. Playoff driver he is, so we'll take a look here And you just see this a little bit later.
This is the aftermath of it, yeah.
Oh, it's a little preview there what happens, but it looks like him and Alfred George are side by side. Oh, Alfred George gives him a little hit. Just a little door slam.
I don't think that's on Alfred George. That is on Lighter drifting up the track. Lighter drifts up the track big time there and just kind of hip checks himself out of the way. Because George is also moving up the racetrack too. He's trying to get out of the way. He gives Lighter as much space as he possibly can. Once again, 75 of James Kerr.
And the 21 of Feimster.
Yeah, Feimster got, I think, the larger hit impact there, right to the right front. And you're going to see Feimster take a hard hit here. Head on, obviously on the brakes there. You saw the wheel hop. Doesn't stop that car from taking a hard look to that outside wall. The Lighter's car, all sorts of destroyed.
I mean, after that hit, you saw that thing get some air a little bit from the rear. It's a miracle he actually was able to drive it those few hundred feet he did, but realized it was a losing battle and elected just to tow. Probably use the fast repair.
And we'll see if we can get on board with the 83 of Lighter. And again, you watch Lighter drift up the racetrack, and he'll run out of space because he's still side by side.
Yeah, I think James Kerr may have got saved a little bit by net code.
Oh, and there goes the engine. You hear the engine let go there. And obviously you see the damage all on that right front. Completely smashed in. So his race going from bad to worse. And Lighter still on pit lane, going laps down here.
Yeah, because of the tow. He should still have a fast repair in the tank, though, so as long as he has that checked, should be able to get back out here. We'll have to wait and see. Luckily, again, he's a few points ahead of the cut line at the very least. He was 29 and Feimster's at 41, so about 12 points ahead of Kevin Feimster coming into the night. Obviously, this race is not over yet that we know of. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out if he can get back out here. But a bit of a hole they'll have to dig himself out of. Choose just in effect there. Stage ends on lap 30. Michelle Proudfoot have been 1-2 for most of this, and they will stay 1-2, and they've been joined by Reynolds, Hill slot, and P3. Ryan Pinnell going to be a brave soul here, going to elect to take row 2 on the outside. That is going to be Overstat, Feather Place, Marshall, and Stephen Overstat, and then Wright and Gaiman. Gaiman, who remember was involved in the first 2 instances, back inside the top 10.
Been a very frantic opening stanza to the race here at Kansas. 4 cautions in quick succession. And we're only halfway through stage 1. Green flag back in the air. Here we go.
You can see pretty much 2 abreast there for most of the field, back from second all the way back here, all getting racy. For some, stage points could be a bit of necessity here if they had a bit of a poor Darlington. Could easily use it to get back up a little bit. Names pop to mind like Ryan Pinnell, for instance. And Stefan Oberstadt currently in 9th. David Wright as well in 10th. Ooh, Withers just clips the wall a bit. Luckily, he will save it. Could have been easily another caution with how it played out. Reynolds is able to get around for second. Michelle going the wrong way here. You can just see in the foreground there. Now lost spot in succession. As we see this battle here. Playing out. That's the 3. Trying to maybe get an extra spot here on David right here. Yeah, get back one more point here. He's right now the last spot in the top 10 for the stage. There's Brent Roberts, last week's winner. He'll be trying to take out that 3 outside the top 10 and put himself firmly in the top 10, even though he doesn't need the points. Still likes to at least get that car moving in the right direction. About to get split here. Roberts on his inside. Sears is almost on the high side. Sears luckily backs out. There's Gaiman making a move. That was Edward Marshall. Looks like a little bit slow here. He's going to lose 2 spots. One the game and one the feather place. Okay. Gonna have a battle here for the lead here as Michelle's gonna have a run on the 22. He's slowly chipping away here. Looks like Proudfoot may have lost a little bit of his stuff here, and it looks like Michelle's gonna have a chance to clear. Not gonna be able to. He's gonna have to leave the door open. Lap led though by the 25, but now advantage favoring the 22 heading into the corner. But if I'm gonna have to slide up here to success if he wants to keep this going, he will, block the 22 off. Side by side up here for the lead. You can see also there, battle for 5th brewing between Gaiman and Ryan Pennell. So we got 2 to go in the stage. Shell looks like he's gonna have smooth sailing here. Now Proudfoot could lose another spot here to Tommy Reynolds. Can't get the door cleared here. We're going to start the white flag lap in the stage. 1 to go.
Stage 1 ends on lap 40, so we still got about 11 laps here.
Okay, I thought you said 30, so that's what threw me off. But I guess we got 11 to go, so you can see they're getting pretty racy here.
Finally getting some green flag running in. And look at Josh Gaiman move his way forward. 12 lap fresher tires. Been on lap 12.
Yeah, using those tires to his advantage, trying to go to the front here. Obviously, he wants to get ahead here, but at the same point, he wants to avoid some of this chaos. He's not going to get around Reynolds here. Slot back in line. Oberstadt kind of going the wrong way here. Runs P3, now down to P6 and possibly 7. Gaiman obviously again using those fresh tires almost gives a bump to the 22. Should, with that tire advantage, be able to pace it down low, and he'll get clear of the 22. So put Gaiman as a man on a mission right now, up the P2. And when the stage ends at 40, he's looking good. At least catch Michelle here and take himself to the top step of the stage. Looks like, speaking of playoff drama here, unscheduled stop for the 70. Kruger in the pit lane. Keep an eye. I'll keep an eye to see what the reason may be, but very unscheduled for a driver that needs a strong race here to make up points. Unscheduled pit stops aren't going to help out in that regard. Now that the restart has concluded, you can see everyone's kind of getting spaced out here for the most part, which is a good thing. On some green flag running here to kind of commence. You see a few drivers working their way up to the front. Some drivers coming like Brent Roberts right now. Attacking in that little battle he has with David Wright for the last spot here. And then you got two presidential race machines fighting just in the distance there. Ryan Pinnell and Proudfoot. Pinnell trying to get the top four here. He's also got Patrick Oberstadt in his rear view mirror as well, so he knows he's going to feel that pressure. You know, he's got to get around somehow. Back up the battle here for a second. Just glad you noticed. I was about to say something. Game, it looks like he may have been off a little bit more than he could chew on those tires. As Reynolds was putting up a bit of a fight here. Game may have used up a little bit of his stuff here to try to reel back in here, and now he kind of eating the MacGuffins of it. Two major battles kind of forming here. You just see in the distance that big battle there for the top five. And also we got a little bit of a battle forming for that final point as well of the stage. Roberts and James Kerr both fighting hard for 10th. So two major battles forming here.
Britton Roberts' points really don't matter because he's already in the next round.
True. And three cars he's fighting aren't really fighting for points either. But the only advantage would be constructors, but even then, still just trying to get that car forward right. Ooh, three wide right there. Oh, feather place, Proudfoot and Wright. Just saw him three wide. Kerr gonna pile in there, and Donald Ray. And that's going to be the end of the stage. So stage over. Stage one ends. It's going to go to Michelle points, but a couple playoff cars involved in that situation. There were three wide. We'll take a look at Wink in a second, but they were just three wide there, and it didn't look like it was going to stick. So here's the replay here. You already can see right there, feather place kind of on the Proudfoot here. You can see Proudfoot's going aggressive here, like in the middle, and it's going a little bit too slow, and it's going to get split here by the 42 and the 34. 42 kind of just taps the 22. 34 hits the wall, comes down, and right there it gets hooked, and it sends right hard into the wall. Feather place thought he was going to be okay, and then gets hailed hard by James Kerr. Now take a look at Donald Ray here. He got a big lick in this too. Needed an EOL. Looks okay. That right hits David Wright. He's just coming down. He thought no one was going to go low there. Thought he was going to be okay. And 42 filled the hole he was trying to go for. So now the lead lap cars are electing to pit here. Ooh, you can see the 41 missed his pit box. That's going to cost him a little bit of time here. Shell should be the favorite to come out here with the lead. He'll drive off away there and he will take it. Reynolds will get second. Bit of a slow stop for the 61. It looks like he's electing to fix some damage there with a 30-second pit stop for his trouble, so he'll be mirrored back in the pack there. I'm going to choose next time by here. Everyone getting cycled through here. The race off pit lane with Michelle, Reynolds, Proudfoot, Ryan Pennell, Roberts, Michael Joy, Patrick Oberstadt, Mongold, Withers, George, your top 10. Looks like Emma Kruger's unscheduled stop was to maybe fix some connection issues, but the problem is she's now a handful of laps down. She's going to need a couple cautions to get back in it, but with how stage 1 went, she should be at least in favor, at the very least, to get some cautions here, to maybe get back on the lead lap or get a couple back. But still a long road recovery for that 70, who needs a good finish here to give herself a good chance going to Bristol night race. To have a chance. But and not make it a winner in situation. So choose is going to happen here.
Situation right now, though, is not positive. With Matthew Leiter still a lap down, David Wright's a lap down, James Kerr's a lap down, Donald Ray's at least 1 down, maybe 2 down. That's a lot of cars in front of Kruger.
Yeah, I didn't say it was going to be easy. I just, yeah.
At nigh on impossible.
Yeah. I wouldn't take a bet at Vegas with those odds, but you never know. I've seen stranger things happen. So choosing effect there, Michelle goes high with Reynolds, so that'll be the first row. Proudfoot, Ryan Pennell, so Presidential Racing makes up row 2. Then you got Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, Brent Roberts, Austin Mongold, Michael Joy, Alfred George, Kevin Feames for your top 10. Pace car in. Looks like stage 2 is going to end. It will end on lap 80. Away we go. Stage number 2. Reynolds looking to clear here. Got an okay run. He's going to side draft aggressively here. See if he can clear that 25. Cannot come up successfully. So going to be 2 across the line here. You see pretty much 2-2-2 further back there. So a lot of cars fighting for the positions they can get at the moment. And Proudfoot, remember, was quite strong early in the run, looking to try to join the fray here. As Reynolds almost thought about coming up there, but thought Proudfoot was there, had to wait just a second. Going to affect the run he's going to get in the corner with number 3. Reynolds not going to go away here, going to get the charge again. Wants to take this lead and kind of set sail. He had that strong pace at the end of stage 1. We know he's an all-round strong car throughout a stage. Just thinking if he can get clear up front and kind of set sail, he can maybe pull away from this pack. You see in the back there, Roberts and Oberstadt fighting hard there for 5th, top 5. There's Ryan Pennell as well. Gonna kind of go low here. Thinks he can get a good run on his presidential teammate. Oh, look at Proudfoot. Gonna cut the dog, try to give himself a little better run here, but nowhere really can take it. Because both legs are kind of clogged up. Ooh, Michelle just in the wall a little bit. That's going to give Reynolds the push he needed to clear. Couldn't come up all the way. Still going to get up just enough. And now Proudfoot going to get the run he needs with that little mistake by Michelle. Could he make it a 2-for-1 special here? He's not going to get the run he needs to clear, but he is going to be side by side.
A lot tighter racing here in this stage so far.
Tighter and cleaner. You love to see it. Well, you don't like to see if you're a lap down, but if you are on the lead lap, you like to see it. Now the question I was kind of posing earlier, now Reynolds has got the clean track and kind of the clean space. Can he kind of pull away from this pack here? So he doesn't want to be in the hounds of it. You can see now Michelle under fret here from Proudfoot. And you can see Ryan Pennell kind of his own little train. He's got a few cars fighting after him. You can see Oberstadt, Patrick making a run there. Split in the middle there. That's Austin Mongold. Haven't said much of him in that 4 so far this season. Well, came in obviously in the expansion of the third break there, but it's been much of a threat the past couple weeks. Looking to get a good run here right now. Currently in the top 5. Honestly, even though it's fun, this is always the sketchy part, is being in the middle of this pack here, being like a Josh Gaiman right now. Josh Gaiman, a Tom Sears, Michael Joy, kind of just being in the thick of things, in the middle of a hornet's nest. And just kind of, you can only control your own outcome. And in this regard, if you're in the middle of this kind of thick of pack here, you don't really know what to expect, because if someone makes a slight mistake, they could ping pong. The next thing you know, you're just trying to avoid it and just trying to get through. So it's always a bit risky being in the middle of this. It's fun, but it's also very concerning. Very heart race inducing, if you will. There's Mongol going to get passed on the outside by Bren Roberts, last week's winner. Already locked into the playoffs. Just out here looking to have some fun, keep that momentum going.
Ryan Pennell putting on a fantastic job tonight. Missed last week's race at Darlington. Looking phenomenal tonight.
Does have a lot of points he does need to make up on that line. That was about 20 out going into tonight. Luckily got some stage points here, chasing down his own teammate. So see how Kevin Phoebes, who was on the cut line going into tonight, obviously things can change with points and whatnot, so that may or may not hold. But at the very least, he's doing what he needs to do. Still see a bunch of cars. Just keeping an eye on that like second line there, right outside the top, almost in the top 10 there with Mongold and Marshall and Withers, all kind of holding that low line, just trying to find what they can get out of it. But one thing worth noticing, he looks on that time scoring. Danny Michaud has caught back up Tommy Reynolds. Not in close enough distance to pass, but at the very least, reeled him back in, I should say. There's the focal point on Bren Roberts right now. Roberts, again, carving this up for the field here in 6th position. If you get around Gaiman, that will put him inside the top 5. We know at the end of stage 1, he was fighting for getting inside the top 10, so has made up a lot of spots. Not the biggest mover. That would be Ryan Pennell up 13 from where he qualified, but still up 5 from where he started. The thing is, keep an eye on that 42 right now. He's kind of carving his way through the field right there, in the inside right there. He is currently 1 down. He is fighting Matthew Leiter for the lucky dog. If we're Matthew Leiter a little bit further back there. But David Wright kind of driving hard here. Making that car work for what he needs to work right now in a battle with the 41. Just trying to make sure he either somehow race way up towards front, unlap himself, or at the very least be in the right spot when the stage ends in 20 laps before the next caution, when everyone comes first. While we're watching this battle, Michelle got around Reynolds, and should also be worth noting as well, Ryan Pennell's also caught Tommy Reynolds as well.
Really, the entire field's caught up there because Gaiman's not far behind either.
Like before, it was about, they were that top 2 were about a second back of Ryan Pennell and this whole pack. Now that second pack of Pennell, Gaiman, Proudfoot, Roberts, LaJoy have all caught up to this. Now Reynolds going to try to challenge back here. So game on. Ooh, Reynolds trying to clear there.
That's where they're losing time because they're going side by side, and that's allowing Ryan Pennell to have free real estate wherever he wants to go.
Ooh, he's gonna have a good run here on the 7. Don't know if he's gonna have enough clearance.
That's a phenomenal run on the 7.
I don't know if he'll be able to clear going to the corner.
Talk about the regressive banking at the top of the show. This is what it means. Reynolds gets out of the job. Oh, wow.
Reynolds hit that a ton.
But the progressive banking allows him to stay in it.
He's chipping away at it. Just, again, he's trying to clear it, or just he'll have to tuck back in on the 7 and try to get another run here. 6-1-22 kind of staying inside, so if opportunity opens, they may try to force it. Well, foul 2. It looks like the 7 makes another mistake there. And Gaiman and Ryan Pennell and Proudfoot are all going to clear here with that one mistake. Reynolds learned of danger once, was able to avoid it now twice. Not so lucky. Let's approach Ryan Pennell up the 2nd, Gaiman to the podium spot. Reynolds looking to stop the bleeding here and keep 4th away from Proudfoot.
Gaiman now on the attack for the 2nd spot. And Reynolds.
Oh, was almost 3 wide for a second there. Gaiman was able to clear. And Roberts joined the fray as well. Ooh, Reynolds in the wall almost again there. He is... I don't know what he's either just playing too close with danger or he's having slight mistakes. He's just getting way too close to that wall.
Ryan Pennell falling backwards a little bit now. After charging for that 2nd spot early.
Yeah, the Hounds of Justice have caught Ryan Pinella here. Kind of just wants to get back to that, probably that top line there to get regrouped, but it's not getting much of a break here at the moment. Looks like Ryan Pinella is finally going to get the bleeding to stop here, tucking behind David Wright here, and should be able to kind of get regrouped here. See in the background there, battle between 7th Queen Feather Place and LaJoy.
Amidst all the battling, Daniel Michelle's opened up a 1.5 second gap to Josh Gama. Gaiman trying to reel that in across these next 11 laps. Stage 2 ends on lap 80.
And a driver that really is going to be happy at stage end is David Wright, because right now he's looking good to get his lap back at the way he's going. Be a tall task. Like, he could possibly drive his way up to the front here, but the likelihood of that happening is not high. So that's about a 3-second gap to Daniel Michelle.
Michelle holding on right now to a race lead that is shrunk down from 1.5 to 1.1 seconds. Even spacing between the top 3, though. From first to third of Bryn Roberts.
Yep, Sonny Miller Racing got 2 of those 3 spots. Top 5, it's 2 B-Trons, 2 Sunny Money Racings, and 1 Presidential Racing. Interesting note, no line power machinery, even though they lead the constructors. Only 2 of their cars inside the top 10. But none in the top 5. None have really been the top 5 for the majority of this race. Maybe one more question worth noting here, at least on the lucky dog consideration. Playoff driver Stefan Oberstadt right now has a chance he could get caught before the 8 laps are done here. And if he is caught and put a lap down, he would be battling Wright and Leiter for the lucky dog. And with Wright in that pack about 3 back, it raises a question here in the sense that can Oberstadt... Okay, so he's pitting, so actually that'll be a moot point. 3 coming on in. So Wright will keep his lucky dog position, but there was that chance.
I believe Oberstadt tagged the wall and came in for damage. Because he was slow for a little bit.
Yeah, that right side looks a little damaged. I'll take a quick look. Yeah, he scraped the wall coming out of 1, and I guess that was just enough to get him flag a repair that he needed to serve. But only an 8-second stop, so very odd indeed. Lap 75 here. Gaming got it down to 1.1, but closing a little, but not at a rate enough he'll win the stage. Then you got Roberts, Proudfoot, Reynolds, Pinnell, Featherplace, Oberstadt, Marshall, Feems to your top 10 at the moment. Feems got back in the top 10 here. Remember, driver was on the line. So getting inside the top 10, at least get a point or 2, could make all the difference. Right now, that 25 still rocking the Vickers throwback. It's looking all smooth sailing right now at the moment.
Four laps to go. It's Daniel Michelle, Josh Gaiman, Brendan Roberts. 1, 2, 3. As things currently run. Stage 1, all chaos. Stage 2, straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of drivers love Kansas. So seeing Stage 2 being so clean is kind of nice and refreshing after one was a bit of a little chaotic show. So they found comfort in these cars. You can see the little battle box here as he focuses on the battle for fourth here. Proudfoot, Ryan Pennell, Tommy Reynolds, and Brandon Fedplace all here in a blanket. 3 out of 4 playoff drivers. The only one not being is the currently the car in fourth. So we've hit 2 to go in the stage here, lap 79. Again, don't want to do anything silly to throw away an extra point or two, especially if you're Ryan Pennell here. Fedplace and Reynolds have pretty good comfort cushions. At stage point's not as crucial, but Ryan Pennell needing to make up as many plays he can. He doesn't want to cough up more than he needs to. Michelle takes the white flag in the stage, crosses the line. Fedplace able to get around. Reynolds just taps the wall there. Another hit for that 7, so he's going to probably have at least some damage repair he'll have to take on this next flag of pit stops. And just trying to hope when they get to the end of the stage here. Another tap there. Coming off the last corner here, Dan Michelle is going to come across the line, and he will win stage number 2. Michelle, Gaiman, Roberts, Proudfoot, Pennell, Fedplace, Reynolds, Oberstadt, Marshall, and Kevin Feemster around stage 2 here in points. Withers close, but no cigar for him in 11th. What next time here is pace car? Obviously, they have to catch the pace car here. It's like a couple cars have run it close on fuel here. Looks like actually Proudfoot's ran out of fuel here. So Proudfoot is out. See if that affects 22 here in turn, because slow is out of speed here. Cars gonna have to try to avoid him. We're gonna hopefully hit their boxes successfully. Yeah, you can already see the effects of the 22 here. Gonna get his box pretty slow here. Lost so much time here, and will make it successfully, but he's gonna lose a lot of spots being slower in pit lane. David Wright there, speaking of him, he was able to get the lucky dog. He will get his lap back. Leiter will take the wave run. He'll get his lap back when it all cycles through. But Michelle going to come out first in pit lane. Then Gaiman, Roberts, Ryan Pennell, Tommy Reynolds, your top 5 on pit stops.
While we're looking under caution for the end of stage 2, here's an update on the points situation. Reynolds holds on to the points lead. Again, Bryn Roberts locked into the next round of the playoffs already with a win last week at Darlington. Then Michelle, having won both stages though, 20 points added to his repertoire. We'll see if he needs those 20 points or if he can close this out with a sweep of the race with a win tonight. Right now, he's got the advantage to do so. Josh Gaiman in 4th, Fetter Place 5th. And you'll see provisionally, you'll see Jeremy Breo, who has not started the first 2 races, currently sitting in the 12th spot, getting drop round points, getting 10 points per race, the first 2 races that he's missed. However, think about the race points coming in, he'll immediately drop back down outside the top 12. And he will use both those drop rounds for the playoffs. He won't be able to add any more bonus points. So, could be a sign of impending doom for the reigning series champion. We could be looking at a brand new champion in 2023 if Breo ends up out and in the round of 16 there.
Yeah, it's going to be, we'll have to see if Breo can even make it next week. Hopefully he can. He'll want to go down swinging if he can, but it is going to be a hard task. He's basically going to have to put all his eggs in trying to get as many stage points and a victory at Bristol. And it's not the easiest fate to do. But you can never count a defending champion out. He won the championship last season. So it shouldn't be totally shocked that he puts a run next season in that playoff race. The cutoff race, if he is there, he should be able to put a good effect there to maybe have a chance at it. So basically, are going to come in this time. It's Michelle and Gaiman, row number 1, with Brent Roberts and Edward Marshall, row 2, Ryan Pinnell, Michael Joy, row 3, Tommy Reynolds, Austin Mongold, row 4, and Brandon Proudfoot and Patrick Oberstadt making up row number 5. Those are going to be your first 5 rows here at the start of the final stage. Anyway, we do go green here. Carmen, you still have the points on the screen here. But we do have a big battle here for the lead here as Gaiman is going to try to challenge Michelle here. Can't get it done. A little racy in the back there. Almost looks like there may have been a slight tip-tap, but everyone keeps it clean. No car around. Shell, Gaiman, Roberts kind of let off what we saw at the end of stage 2. 2 Sunday Monday Racing cars looking to keep the dominant Sunday Monday Racing has had. And you got Edward Marshall there, the highest line power representation. Looking to be a spoiler here in that 16, but you can see Gaiman going to try to clear here, going to 25. He'll get the door open. Michelle, though, going to go low. Going to try to out-drag the 61. Can he get clear? He cannot. He'll have to leave the door open. He'll have to forego the spot, so put Gaiman up to the lead. Oh, Edward Marshall got tapped there in the back. And that's going to be a wreck. Proudfoot involved. Tom Sears involved as well. Alfred George gets a piece there at the end. Just saw him from perspective get a little loose. And then next thing I heard wrecking and a handful of cars involved there. We'll have to take a look to see exactly what happened. But I think it may have been him and Reynolds and something. Oh, he's already getting loose. So Reynolds had nothing to do with it. Marshall's getting loose. Pinnell gets involved and right into Proudfoot. So one line power car took out 2 presidentials, and even Alfred George gets a piece there too. So 3 presidential racing cars involved in that incident. But as you can see, Edward Marshall was just getting loose. And Reynolds kind of had nowhere to go. Just kind of gave him a little tap and sent him the other way. So that's going to be the saving grace for Leiter. So now Leiter should get back on lead lap, bearing he was involved in the incident, which I don't think he was. Actually, it looks like he was involved. It looks like Oberstadt's going to get it. Yeah, he is. So Leiter was involved somewhere in that incident.
He went off track.
Okay. So listen to kind of damage rate. Ryan Pinnell may have some damage, some visible damage that could affect the performance of the car. So have to keep an eye on the 12 here. Some pushed in damage. We'll see how it affects. A couple cars likely to come in there. Obviously, the ones involved in the incident. We're gonna have to choose next time by. A few more cars coming in. Alfred George, Proudfoot, Leiter, James Kerr. Well, James Kerr's already been pit lane for 10 minutes, so James Kerr's been there, but we're going to see the choose here. Now, we've seen most cars go one high, low, high, low, high, low. Not usually we see at other tracks where a bunch of cars will either go high or low. Everyone kind of feels like they can get the advantage in the lane they feel like they're comfortable with, but it looks like Michelle and Gaiman going to go off high, allowing Brent Roberts to be the car that goes low. First time the car in second position in a while has not elected to line up in the front row and instead line up second car on the outside. So Michelle feels like he's got a better advantage on that outside row 2, the inside in row 1. Which makes sense because especially with the slight, if you can't time the restart right, you'll be kind of sitting duck for the car on the outside anyway. So feels more confident that maybe Roberts will spin the tires, not time it right, and have a good run to keep seconds. So looking at how they all back out here, Gaiman, Roberts will be row 1, Michelle, Reynolds row 2, Ryan Pinnell, Saf Wanzing row 3, Stefan Oberstadt and Feather Place row 4, and Withers and Mongold will make up row number 5. His car is in, and away we go. Good launch there by the outside line. You can see probably what Michelle was thinking, was going to get bogged down the inside. Wasn't going to quickly bail to the top side.
Josh getting very loose on the outside lane there on opening lap.
It's going to allow Michelle to get a good run here. I think it's Reynolds as well. See a little RG Bark. I think Mongol just tapped the wall a little bit in the back there, just outside the top 10. The top 6, all playoff drivers. The only one with a win so far in this. Yeah. Only one with a win so far is the 5th place car, Bren Roberts. A little bit further back here, you can see that's Seth Wansing and Tommy Reynolds. Seth Wansing going to clear that 7. Haven't said much about Seth Wansing here. He's getting kind of fast, but for the most part in that Miller Lite scheme, he's been buried in the back. Been in this inside and out to the top 10, but really not been up the front. It looks like that car has been charging slowly and slowly to the front. We saw this last week at Darlington too, where he had the speed and he just showed it really late. There goes Tommy Withers way off into the downside there. Looks like he got loose. He'll get it saved. But now kind of in a bit of a troubled spot here. 3 wide, almost 4 wide there with Mongold. Mongold almost gonna hit the wall, but they'll all keep it clean. We'll keep it green. It's around lap 98. Ooh, there goes Alfred George as well. Lose 2. Car just fighting for position again right now, back on the lead lap. We know he had some pace in that 42. Some carved his way all the way up to the top 5. So now on the lead lap, he can make these passes actually matter. So keep an eye on that 42.
Oh, trouble. Marshall turned.
Oh, Marshall. That was Ryan Pennell involved as well.
I believe Kevin Feemster got worse into that as well.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. Yeah, he's got some damage, so.
Yeah, this is coming out of turn 2. We know it's a trouble spot.
Yep. I think Oberstadt gets in the wall. You can already see him in the wall there. Pennell tries to avoid it, and the 16 was there. And then.
Yeah, that largely was a very friendly interaction compared to what we typically see out of turn 2.
That was similar to the opening lap incident we saw. The only difference is that the car on the outside, yeah, the inside, James Kerr, I think it was, didn't get sent the other direction. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Ryan Pennell pit here. He had damage from the previous caution, probably wants to come in and fix it. Actually, most of the field will come in as we are within the 40 to go here. So if you're coming in, you should be able to make it to the end. But it looks like Gaiman and Reynolds going to stay out here. Interesting call. Michael Joy as well, along with Tom Sears. So let Matthew Lloyd will get the lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap. I was leaving Stefan Oberstadt and Emma Kruger 1 and 6 down, respectively. But yeah, very interesting choice there because we are within final distance window, but they're thinking we'll get another caution here. And if we do, they can pit, get fresh tires, and we saw Gaiman with fresh tires earlier in stint 1 where he was able to carve his way up through the field. So if you're that top 4, you're banking on another caution here and then ripping on the fresh tires, or if everyone pits, keeping the track position. But if you're Proudfoot on down, as Proudfoot actually just took fuel only, but Michelle on down with fresh tires, you are banking that we go green. So top 5 far have to pit, and you can take advantage and win this race. So 2 different strategies forming here. Let me see how this all plays out. To the green here. Shoes next time by. So we're gonna have to choose this time by. It'll be interesting to see where this top 5 slot here. We saw last choose. Gaming went high, and Michelle followed suit high. So now the question is, will that be a repeat, or Reynolds test his luck low? But it looks like it's going to be Gaming, Reynolds taking the high side. Looks like Mike LaJoy will let go to the bottom. Mike LaJoy again. Haven't said much about him. So of all those opening cautions, been quite strong in the top 10, top 15, but has been up towards the front, and now up to the front here. He'll slot on the front row. So it's going to be Gaiman and LaJoy, row 1. Proudfoot and Reynolds, row 2. Sears, Michelle, row 3. Roberts, Wansing, row 4. And Feather Place right for your first 5 rows. Just a quick update. It's 18 cars on the lead lap. 21 cars still in this race, with Oberstadt, Kruger, and Ray 1, 6, and 10 down, respectively, for all 3 cars. And James Kerr still on pit lane, but 30 minutes worth of damage, will not be probably coming back here tonight. Pace car going to come on in. Green flag's out. Mike LaJoy gets bogged down and already affects the inside lane tremendously. Spins the tires. Michelle gonna quickly jump high. Along with Proudfoot, they're all gonna bend that low line like a hot dog with ants on it. Now Reynolds gonna slot low here, so big check up on the inside is gonna be the outside lane's game. But again, if we do not get another caution, Gaiman, Reynolds, Sears, LaJoy will all have to pit one more time. Gaiman, Reynolds, Proudfoot, 1, 2, 3. Wansing gets around LaJoy up to 5th. Right now, Wansing the highest on fresh tires. Proudfoot the highest at pit under the last caution. see in the there, step one's going to slide and almost kind of bodies Roberts out of the way there a little bit. Getting pretty raced in the mid-pack there. Top 6 all look pretty much slot out here for the moment. Proudfoot just sets the fastest lap of the race last time by of 31.14. And you can see him hounding the back of the 7, but gets a little loose there. They'll keep it in line. Now going to be a pressure from Sears. Lurking Tom Sears. I know I've said this phrase twice. I'll say it thrice. Another car that's been kind of just top 10 up here in the front right now. Took advantage of the strategy. Currently sitting P4, getting a good run on the 22. But here goes Michelle. And you just saw him in the foreground there. Going to get around the 14. Take advantage of the fresh tires. And should also maybe make move the 22 here as well.
3 wide. There you go.
Yep.
The thing is, like, with Proudfoot, like, it's easy to set a fastest lap. It's hard to sustain it. And you're seeing with Proudfoot right there. He was able to get the fastest lap, but immediately had to let go of something. And will drop 2 positions for his efforts. Maybe 3. Bryn Roberts right there as well.
Sears going to answer back here. Inside line for the 14. Again, Michelle's in a bit of an interesting spot here right now. Obviously, if a caution were to come out, everyone's pitting, so he wants to get as high as he can. But if we stay green, the cars he's fighting right now is the 22, the 1, the 9. They all pitted there. You can see side by side there. 22 and the 1. Roberts kind of runs Proudfoot up the racing line a little bit there. Keep it clean, though. Roberts a bit apologetic for what happened. They know right now caution would not be beneficial to their cause. There's Roberts. What he can do in that American-themed hood. Let me get around the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force 22 there, or well. Cut back up to Reynolds and Sears. Battle for 3rd and 4th. Michelle's always got away from this pack, and he's hunting down Gaiman. Here's wants a podium here. Was able to win both stages, well, one stage last week, and finished 3rd in the other one. Looking to get a good finish here. Did not get a good finish at Arlington. Looking to take advantage here. So Michelle's going to make a pass for the lead of this race. Ooh, he touches Gaiman a little bit.
And the 3 wide behind him.
Yep.
Hey.
Gaiman coming in, by the way, too. Gaiman was trying to pit, and Michelle didn't know that, and Gaiman, they touched indirectly. Michelle takes the lead, though. But we're still focused on this battle.
Oh, that's the thing about Tommy Reynolds, because Tommy Reynolds would also have to pit at this point.
Yeah. He's going to have to hand out the window.
Because he didn't put it, he's last put on lap 82, which is not the window you need to get in. And here comes Reynolds.
Yeah, they were hoping for a quick caution. It did not come for either car. Now just leaving only Sears and LaJoy. Sears last pitted on 92, and LaJoy pitted last on 90. Just seeing that background, how racy they're getting.
That is from fourth, really effectively from third all the way down, but really from fourth all the way down to 14th.
Yeah. Right now, if you're Michelle Wands, you're kind of happy you're not in that right now. Sears, you're probably a little bit skeptic because you know you got a pit and soonish. And right now you're pinned on the high side. Obviously, if he's got a pit, he'll try to mosey his way on down. Roberts going to try to clear Sears, cannot get it done. Sears hanging tough. Just to the back down there, Oberstadt almost gets shoved in the wall. Sears almost in the wall, gonna let up a couple spots here. Feather Place right cannot finish the deal. Feather Place can. Now Feather Place gonna challenge Roberts right on Sears. That touched the wall just a little bit there, but doesn't lose the back end. Pats are just ticking by here. If you're Gaiman's or Reynolds, you need kind of a caution to get back, but Gaiman would be the only one getting the lucky dog. And if you're Sears and LaJoy, you definitely want to caution quickly here, but you don't want to be the caution. Oberstadt, Leiter, and Pinnell. Leiter, Pinnell still in the grass there. They're both going to save it. Well, almost. Ooh. In the wall. Caution is out. And that's the saving grace for Sears and LaJoy. They will be able to pit here. But that's not what Gaiman and Reynolds want. Well, Gaiman will get the lucky dog. Reynolds is going to be trapped one down. Depending, well, but that was just...
He's going to get a wave around at this one, I think, because they both took tires on their stop.
True.
So that they can get a wave around here and be fine. Wow.
I was assuming the top 14, someone that top pack elects to pit, which I assume they will because fresh tires and whatnot. They got a set, come in and use it. But it makes me wonder if anyone may be willing to try to stay out here and maybe not allow them to get the wave around. Because, I mean, Proudfoot came in on lap 100. He didn't take tires. But anyway, we'll take a look at the replay here. Save that conversation for a second. You can just see Sears getting swallowed by the pack here.
Drifts up a little bit. Not just Leiter once again drifting up into a lane that's already covered.
And it looks like it's saved here. And then Leiter was still trying to get saved. Pinnell was trying to get back on. And they happen to be right at the same point.
For Leiter, who's already used fast repair.
Mm-hmm. So, well, we got one more replay here. You'll see on Ryan Pinnell's perspective. Yeah, just nowhere to go.
From that camera, it almost looks like Leiter turned down a little bit. Ryan Pinnell was just kind of cutting across the grass there.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like from the head on, it looked like Pinnell moved up, but I'm not sure that's the case. Leiter just did not check up in time.
Yeah.
Leiter still trying to save it, a little bit.
Looks like it's saved, and he just keeps it straight. Very odd. But regardless of that, caution did come out. That back to live action. Proudfoot and Feather Place stay out, meaning that Reynolds and Oberstadt can't take the wave around unless they pit this time by, which would be silly to do. So Reynolds and Oberstadt will be trapped one down. Gaiman won't get his lucky dog, but he'll be now on the tail end of the lead lap here with a non-tire advantage, so he'll have to try to carve his way up for the field. And now the race pit road, it's Michelle, Roberts, Wansing, Wright, LaJoy, Sears, Withers, Mongold, Patrick Oberstadt, Ryan Pinnell, Alfred George. And there goes Stefan Oberstadt, knowing that he can't get the wave around, so he's not going to try. Yeah, again, Gaiman and Reynolds, the kind of unlucky ones in this situation. At least Gaiman will get back on the lead lap. Tommy Reynolds will be trapped to one down here. And if there is no quick caution, he will presumably be able to get his lap back anyway, but that's another caution. But cautions do breed cautions. Now, it should be worth noting, as I was kind of saying before we watched the replay here, Proudfoot pitted on 100, and he didn't take tires, and he was kind of holding respectively up with the pack. You saw him kind of in that third place bubble. Now, obviously, his tires are going to be a lot older, but it then brings me to the point of Brandon third place, who also pitted on 100, but actually took tires. So Proudfoot's on tires that he last changed on lap 60, well, not 65, 80. No, it was a little bit earlier than that. But the point is, he's on very old tires. Brandon Featherplace pitted long before that. He's on tires that are only about 21 laps old. But they show that tire wear can be detrimental, but you can kind of make it work and still keep speed. It doesn't eat the tires as much. So it'll be interesting to see how Featherplace can hold and see if he can maybe take advantage here and gain something. But it's going to be very hard to stop Michelle here, who's been dominating both stages, and will be lining up on the outside of row number 2 here. Those shoes are just in effect there. It's Proudfoot and Featherplace, row 1. Michelle and Roberts, row 2. Wanzing and David Wright, row 3. Michael Joy, Tom Sears, row 4. Austin Mongold and Patrick Oberstadt rounding out your top 5 rows here. It's going to come in here.
10 laps to go. This will be an interesting shootout.
Flag is out, and away we go. You kind of can see Featherplace did not get going. Roberts is going to be able to get second here. Now Michelle under pressure from his team boss and David Wright. Oh, whoa!
That's where it goes wrong.
And Gaiman also involved. Yeah. Oh, Gaiman's not going to be happy with that. Doesn't look like he's got much damage, but ooh, cannot buy any luck.
I believe that gives Reynolds the lucky dog here.
Correct, as Reynolds was the highest to 1 laps down. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Looks like Reynolds is 3 wide there with Austin Mongold. I believe Gaiman's on the outside there.
Mm-hmm.
Gaiman's got a good run on the outside. Shoots the gap.
And then
Mongold realizes he's there. Tries to give space, but that's just late race, no one running the lift situation there. Mm-hmm. It's a hole that almost always closes there if you're Josh Gaiman. It's a risky move. It's a low percentage decision that didn't pay off there.
I can see the desperation because, like I said, he has a fast car. He can get his way up the field, but he doesn't have many laps to do it. And he tried it and ended up being involved in the incident. Weather's going to come down along with Oberstadt. So, Stefan Oberstadt. So Reynolds should get the lucky dog here. We'll probably see him zoom by on the inside here, or outside. There he goes on that inside right there. So right now, Roberts is in a good spot here because now he's could line up on the front row here. We saw Feather Place kind of spin the tires here. So now he kind of could be the lead car here and presumably get a good run. Michelle, who's dominated most of this race, he's now kind of stuck in a bit of traffic here. He could line up low side or high side, depending on obviously where. So we saw Proudfoot love the bottom. So presumably Roberts goes high. And then Feather Place obviously can choose his line and so on and so forth. But it's going to be interesting to see how the choose affects this, because Michelle has a fast car, but kind of got stuck with the stack up. And now we'll have to try to dig his way out of it. So this choose is going to be interesting to say the least. So choose in effect here. You can see Proudfoot gonna go low, and we can see, ooh, some quick movements there. It's gonna be Proudfoot, Roberts, row one. Feather Place, Michelle. Michelle gonna take the outside line. So 3 Sunday Money racing cars all on that outside line. And then you can have the kind of old tires of Proudfoot, Feather Place, and then you can have David Wright behind it. So, and then you got LaJoy Sears hung out long enough to get the caution to work their favor. Now they're 7th, 8th respectively, so good drive for both cars at the very least if they can hang on to it. Played the strategy well, and with that, and now to finish that out, then Mongold and Pinnell, Ryan Pinnell 9 and 10. Damon now down in 12th position. So with 6 to go. 17 cars on the lead lap. 21 cars still running. Oberstadt 1 down, Kruger 6 down, Leiter 7 down, Donald Ray about 16 down on that. So only one more car can really get back on the lead lap here before this is through and through. Pacer going to come on in. We'll be doing up for an exciting finish. Away we go, flag in air. Good launch by 22. Wanzing gonna go low here, boxing Sears out of it. Ooh, Sears not gonna be too thrilled with that one.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Roberts in the wall. Still in the wall. Way goes Ryan Pinnell down on the inside. I think Michelle tapped the wall too.
Better place to the lead, but both cars on old tires. Michelle on the outside. Keep an eye on the 25.
Yeah, it's got David right there, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There goes Seth Wanzing, going to go low here on Wright. Battle for first, battle for second. Wright going to try to make it 3 wide almost. Well, Wanzing and Wright.
Oh, very close there. Wright gets through. All tires. Fighting those that did not pit. And now it's clear sailing for Michelle, Wanzing, and David Wright. 3 to go.
We know Michelle's got great pace on fresh tires. We know he's setting good blistering laps. He should be able to pull away here. Wanzing, though, saving what he's got late. He wants that win. He doesn't want to have to worry. He's going to try to clear the 42 here. 42 gets loose. Doesn't hit the 9. Still
close.
Trying to save it.
Oh, no.
He can in the Sears.
Oh,
Sears
and
coming
they're
up
going to be in
racing
trouble.
surface. Yes. Oh, it looks like bunch of cars involved. The
Huge.
2 of Alfred George, 41. Easily, that's a lot of cars here.
That's over half a dozen cars.
Yeah.
Bryn Roberts obviously involved in that. The one car we saw him bounce up on the across the track. Mongold, George, Oberstadt. Leiter's involved. Patrick Oberstadt's involved. Tom Sears obviously involved. His car is all torn up.
Oh, yeah, it's crab walking.
Almost a dozen cars involved, and we will have an overtime finish. You see another crab walker in Matthew Leiter, the 83 car. His race effectively over. Sears trying to make it back to pit lane, make it back to his pit box for emergency service. We're going to see an overtime finish here, and this is where it all started. David Wright got super loose out of turn 2. That 42 car was all over the place, trying to hang in there with Seth Wansing. Almost clipped Seth Wansing.
At that point, he's come up the racing surface.
Wow,
Feather Place got cars.
Really lucky there. And obviously, you see the melee. Anyone on the top of the track, not going to be safe. Oberstadt almost got through there. Patrick Oberstadt did, and then obviously not so much the case. Austin Mongold broke part of the suspension, almost had that car flip. Patrick Oberstadt was almost clear until the 83 of Leiter came off of the grass. And then you'll see Bryn Roberts jump in here. He's going to get hit by, I think that's Leiter. He's trying to stay out of it. Oof. Oh, he got clear of it. But I don't think
George is going to be the problem here.
And he avoids both of them.
So he just spins it hitting the curb. Okay.
That's an amazing avoidance there. Just avoiding getting clobbered there. And everyone does a really good job avoiding him there.
Yeah. And if you want a good on inspection, I think Gateman had a good shot of the pandemonium because he split through the seas. You see Gateman in the middle of this. You can see he's not too far away from Withers. And you're just going to see smoke pile, splits through it, and cuts to the middle there. No lift. So back left back, you see some of the cars already making that a graveyard in pit lane. Sears not going to make it out with the 10 count. He will go 1 down. And it's going to shake. This is, for some, this is kind of helpful at the very least, putting some extra damage or some lower spots here for some of the cars around the bubble. So the one advantage of this is that Stefan Oberstadt gets his lap back, so he'll now be on the lead lap. So Ash should be able to gain some spots and positions here. And with him, again, he was only above the cut line by a handful of spots. 9 points from Emma Kruger. And in return, able to get some extra points here and extra spots could actually help him out big time, maybe give him enough cushion going into Bristol. Withers obviously involved in that. Gonna hurt him a little bit. Actually, Withers did get involved, but actually, he's fine. He'll be up in 5th position, so spoke too soon in the 23. But yeah, Matthew Leiter, this is going to be a hurting day for him. He's going to cough up some points. Now 9 down, going to finish behind the 70 Kruger. Should be able to at least stop bleeding there. But yeah, choose an effect here. And you can see it's going to be Michelle on the high side along with Wansing. And it's going to be Mike LaJoy being the brave one here. And he's going to take the front row here. Try to lead the charge. Try to be the spoiler. Try to get this win. So the recycle the field here as we're coming to the first of possibly 3 green-white checker attempts. It's going to be Michelle and LaJoy, Wansing and Featherplace, Withers and Proudfoot, Marshall, Reynolds, Feemster, and Pinnell, your first 5 rows. After that, you got Gaiman, Mongold, Roberts, Stefan Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, all still on the lead lap. 15 cars on the lead lap fighting for this win. And And if enough cautions do breed, Wright could possibly get back on the lead lap, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But can Michelle keep the dominance going? He's had all of the stages. Will someone like Mike LaJoie, Seth Wanzing be able to challenge? Pace car's off, and oh, Michelle gets hooked in front of the field. Quick caution out. Proudfoot involved as well. And that's going to be caution number 2 for a green light checkered. And now Michelle, he's even wondering what just happened there.
Well, we're going to find out what happened there on this restart.
Did he try to come down?
That's what it looks like from the front angle. We'll look from above.
Because, yeah,
keep an eye, it's the car in the front. LaJoie's hanging out there. Oh, LaJoie, no.
Oh.
LaJoie tried gaming the start there and tagged him.
Mm-hmm.
Because LaJoie tried predicting the restart. And he got it all wrong.
Yeah, got the wheel spin a little. It hooked into the 25, and 25 went the other direction.
And the 25 wasn't even planning on going. At least not at that moment. Leader controls the restart, and that would have been Michelle.
Yeah. Oh. Now, yeah, we're waiting for the pace car to go back here, but yeah, that's here goes live action, but you can just see.
So
tries to gain it, goes up a little bit, and yeah,
he 25 he tried gaming the restart there and just got it wrong. So that puts Seth Wanzing at the lead of this race alongside Tommy Withers.
Yeah, even Michelle's I think I drove into him locked up. So yeah, Michelle. Oh. Obviously dominant car throughout the night, and now it's going to be buried in 15th for this last Green Jack, just taking any chance of winning this race out of contention. Now, this gets interesting because now it's Wanzing, Withers, Reynolds, LaJoie, Ryan Pennell. Seth Wanzing, we saw him kind of charge through before we got the first green white checkered. Got a pretty strong 9 car. And then you got Tommy Reynolds, who was also one of the few cars that was able to keep up with the 23 Michelle throughout most of this race. He's in 3rd, and Hill's line up somewhere here. And obviously, let's not count Tommy Withers. If the chaos happens, he's showed he's had an all right car, top 10 all night. Could easily get through this. And then also Ryan Pennell as well, strong top 5 car as well throughout the first and second stage. So got a lot of strong cars here. No odds-all favorite per se. Wanzing obviously will have the advantage, obviously being the lead car here. He'll get to choose his line. Quite interesting. Top 3 all playoff drivers in the next 3 playoff. So, yeah, any car with a red indicator wins this race. They will be locked into the next round of the playoffs, unless it's Brent Roberts. But Brent Roberts being currently 14th, likely that happening is slim. So choose going to be happening this time by. And as this happens, we'd like to thank anyone that joined us here on our Sunday evening has watched us for this race. Thank you for joining us for the A² Cup Series here on ABN1. Multiple broadcasts happen throughout the week here, and hopefully you can join us for those as well. In the description, there are places like the website and the Twitter accounts and other socials if you want to follow for more ABN news. So anyway, though, choose an effect here. Wanzing going to go high. Withers going to join. Reynolds going to be the brave soul here. Going to go low. and Mike LaJoy going to line in. So it's going to be Wanzing and Reynolds, Withers and LaJoy, Ryan Pennell, Brandon Featherplace, Josh Gaiman, Brandon Proudfoot, Austin Mongold, Kevin Feemster, your top 10, with Edward Marshall, Bren Roberts, Stefan Oberstadt, Daniel Michelle, and Patrick Oberstadt, the remaining cars on the lead lap here. 15 cars will be the only amount of cars that will stay on lead lap here, as even if we get another career checker after this, David Wright being 3 down will not be able to get back on the lead lap. So 15 cars, at the very least, is the max we can have on the lead lap here, with 21 cars still running around on the circuit, with still Alfred George and Sears still here along with James Kerr, but on the pit lane with max amount of damage.
For those tuning in, appreciate it. Over 600 followers here on Twitch. Appreciate all the support you've given us these past 2 years. Coming to the second attempt at a green white checker out of 3 possible attempts. I'm Carmen Sienna, alongside me Kevin Young as always. Coming 2 laps to go. Second attempt at a green white checkered. Green flag in the air. A little bit cleaner restart this time. Wanzing leads us home.
Wanzing gets the run he needs here. He'll come down and clear. Reynolds still going to bring the charge. Oh, Withers gets a little loose there. He'll keep it saved.
Whoa, keep an eye. Marshall!
Oh!
Marshall, and I believe that's Stephen Oberstadt it was.
Yep. Oh, Leiter almost piles in. We'll stay green, though. Coming to the white flag lap. Less than instant half up 4. Oh, they're 5 wide in the back there.
They've just got to take the white flag. 1 lap to go. This will end the race. They all kept it pointed straight in the right direction. Somehow they got through that.
Yeah, no caution will be called. They're racing to the line here. Withers gets around LaJoy for 3rd. Big cloud of smoke. That's the incident we just saw. Wanzing within 3 attempts clear. Should be able to bring it home. Sue smiling. Reynolds though going to send it as deep as he dares. But it's not going to be enough as we get a quick blink there for Wanzing. He'll come home, and Wanzing's going to come off, block off Reynolds' charge, and win this race. He'll advance himself to the next round of the playoffs. Reynolds 2nd, Withers 3rd, LaJoy 4th. Gaiman will round outside your top 5. Gaiman and Reynolds, good recovery from the caution. That pinned him 1 down. But Seth Wanzing obviously probably wishing his team maybe would have won this race, but he'll take it, what he can get out of it. And Wanzing thinks that Miller Lite scheme brings him quite good luck. Well, that's a 2nd win here, and now he'll be advancing to the next round, so no pressure for the Sunday Money Racing driver, and he can take Bristol next week and have some fun with it.
That was a wild final restart there. Absolutely crazy, as Seth Wanzing will burn it down.
He'll be very happy. Only 1 win coming into tonight in this current season. Add another one to it. Carmen thinks that he can just break through with 1. Got another. Now, playoffs are very momentum-based. And right now, Sunday Monday Racing's running that momentum high as a team, but also their drivers winning back-to-back races and having dominant cars throughout both races.
And what about Tommy Withers finishing 3rd? A good, needed run.
Yeah.
For the Prophecy Motorsports driver to secure himself going into the round of 12. If he can hold it up for Bristol, he'll look phenomenal.
Yep, coming in tonight, obviously we'll get updated points when we get through all the interviews, but going into tonight at the very least, he was 7 points, 6 or 7 points ahead of Feemster, and would have been about 11 ahead of Emma Kruger first one out. So getting a 3rd here tonight, and also I think he did get some stage points, at least qualify for 1. A couple points there should definitely help him kind of extend that gap over the likes of Emma Kruger, Jeremy Braille, Austin Pennell. Ryan Pennell probably is also going to be in that bottom 4 too right now at the moment, so good jump there. But yeah, Wanzing burning it down. He's going to let it till the engine goes. There it goes. He smoked it till there's no engine. But a very happy 9 at the very least.
And Feemster with a lot of points gained tonight as well. Finished 8th place here. All the results there on the left side of your screen as we work on getting the points finalized for everyone here tonight. What a look. We'll also look back at that final restart because that was insane. That was...
So as you pull, yeah, so as you pull that up, you see the 9 there.
And then just kind of sitting there and...
Yeah, that engine's gone, so tow truck will have to come out and retrieve his car.
We'll see if we can get a word with our race winner, Seth Wansing. Second win of the season. A phenomenal race for him as he moves on now to the round of 12. Bristol, as you mentioned, a lot easier to tackle this time around. We'll hear from him. Seth, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. Do you got a copy?
I got you, Carmen.
We knew this race was going to be special. We didn't think it was going to be this special. A win at home for the first time to add to your win total. A second win this season, and you move on to the round of 12. How are you feeling?
Like, are you shitting me? Like, this is awesome, Carmen. I can't. You know, first I feel bad for my teammate Daniel and Bryn. They were both so fast. Man, I was, you know, got caught up in that lap 1 wreck with Donald and then pitted to try to see if I had any damage because I got like a 4X and you know, got stuck in dirty air. Didn't have any damage from the first wreck, got stuck in dirty air, and then was just trapped back in traffic all night, and then finally used a fast repair because I repaired all the optional and all the wrecks I was in, but just the car wasn't driving right, so I went ahead and used my fast repair because I clobbered the wall too. You know, I was a top 5 car at the end, but I'll be honest, I don't think I had any business winning that race. But to get a win at the home track, Carmen, it feels awesome. Not sure what happened on that second to last restart, but kind of put the door open and then just tried to ace the restart as best as I could there and try to get away from Reynolds because I knew he was on a little bit fresher tire and he's always really good on restarts and short runs. So I can't believe it. I hate to sound so cheesy, but damn, like I had no expectations of winning this race. Just want to escape with the top 10 at one point, but it's really, really special to win at the home track. Don't have to worry about Bristol next week either.
Absolutely. That makes it a lot easier for you. Obviously, it's Sunday Money Racing. 2 wins to kick off the playoffs. Bryn Roberts won last week. Obviously, that was a big week for the team. Following that up with a win for you here tonight. How good does it feel knowing that your team is almost completely locked into the round of 12, having swept so far this opening round of the playoffs? And what does that say about the team's, you know, ability going forward to try to go and really kind of make this a championship fight just between the team?
It gives us all the confidence in the world. Daniel's going to win him a race or 5 here in the playoffs. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident he'll get locked in next week. And don't sleep on Donald Ray either. He was super fast tonight. Just had a rough start with that lap 1 wreck and couldn't seem to catch a break after that. But yeah, it would be nice for it to be us 3. But there, as you know, there's so many fast guys in this league still left in the playoffs. So, but yeah, happy I don't have to worry about Bristol next week, and just super pumped, Carmen. I can't believe that I you know, had good and bad luck at Kansas and finally got her done here. That's awesome.
Yeah, phenomenal drive. Absolutely electric final stanza there for the number 9 crew. A very quiet race starting out, and it paid off dividends. A win at home, second win in a row for the team. Second one for you this season. Now with the round of 12 coming up next, going to be very interesting to see how that team progresses forward into the playoffs here. Obviously, a lot of celebration is due, I think, at this point. I think you've got some Miller Lite that you get to enjoy here to send off the weekend. But before I let you go and let you fully celebrate the race win, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Seth, the floor is yours. Congrats on a phenomenal win. Moving on to the round of 12 now.
Thank you to ARCS and everybody that makes it go, and all the incredible drivers that come out and run our series. every Sunday. Thank you to you guys for broadcasting, Carmen and Kevin. You guys always put on an incredible show. Thanks to Sunday Money Racing, and thank you to Midwest Barbecue and T13 Simware. And yeah, gonna go have a couple beers and enjoy the night.
Absolutely, that sounds like an absolute plan. Seth, again, congratulations, second win of the season. This time in the playoffs to move on to the round of 8. Enjoy it, and we'll be seeing you next week at Bristol.
Thank you very much.
Now, the Seth Wansing race winner here tonight. A phenomenal performance by the 9-car team here this evening. Victory Lane, that's where that 9-car is going to end up going here in just a little bit. Obviously, burn it down and burnt the engine out of it here at Kansas Speedway. Second place finisher, Tommy Reynolds, so close to a 6th win this season. So close to being able to get close to that record for most wins in a single season. We'll have to, again, kick that down the road at least one more week. Tommy Reynolds, second place here tonight. Tommy, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
So close to a 6th win, but a phenomenal performance to hold on to just the overall points lead, making it a lot more comfortable going into Bristol next week. Walk through your race tonight, because it seemed uber competitive once everyone got a feel for the car.
That first stage was okay. I think we ended up finishing 3rd. That one was pretty straightforward besides the first couple cautions. But it seemed like once everybody got it out of their system, they were kind of good to go. That second stage wasn't so hot. I kept hitting the wall out of 4. It felt like there was an invisible wall there, but yeah. And then that last stage was really bad because everybody pit at lap 100 when that caution came out, and that left me and Gaiman out to dry, and we were kind of screwed. So then we ended up battling back after the after going a lap down there, and Gaiman got the lucky dog, then I got the lucky dog, and we got lucky with a big wreck there at the end. So but yeah, it was just nice to get back up there after a kind of disappointing 3rd stage.
Obviously, for you, you've been able to kind of take it a little bit easier. You had the points lead. You've had the points lead all of this round. Obviously, finishing at a better place will kind of ensure that. Going into Bristol, it's a track that we've seen you be successful at, but we also know that it's very luck-based sometimes with how incidents happen there. How are you feeling going into Bristol and moving on into the round of 12? Just at this point, just getting that consistency to try to just avoid being caught up in some of these incidents, especially that we saw at the end of the race where we had to go through 2 overtime finishes tonight.
I'm not typically great at concrete tracks. Bristol's one of those tracks where you could kind of blow the right front off, and you can't. It's not my driving style, and it's a short track though, so I'm typically better than most of the field at just short tracks. So we'll see. Obviously, with the banking there, everybody kind of slides down towards the bottom. So. But we'll see. With this new update, they kind of changed how the track surface works a little bit, I think. So you also got to see with that and see if the line changes.
Yeah, this will be the first time we've visited Bristol with some of the updates to the track evolution that we see now. It was a frantic race tonight. Obviously, still the points leader as things currently stand. Pretty well safe, I think. You've got leaving tonight with 2,118 points. I believe that's over a full race points ahead of 13th place. So I do believe you are locked in points-wise into the next round anyway. But hopefully you can kind of just shore that up with a potential race win at Bristol next weekend. Before we let you go and kind of let you enjoy the podium here tonight at Kansas, a good recovery drive up 6 spots from your starting position here this evening. If there's anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours, Tommy. Again, a phenomenal drive here tonight at Kansas. Another podium to add to a growing list of hardware.
Yeah, thank you. Last week's 4th place and this week's 2nd place was 2 really good finishes in my book. So thank you for the awesome broadcast as usual, and I got nobody else to thank tonight.
Well, Tommy, again, enjoy the podium. Another podium tonight. Over a dozen podium finishes so far this season. That 7 car hard to beat so far this year. Still a favorite and locked into the round of 12 based on points alone. Tommy, enjoy the podium, and hopefully we get to see you just one position higher next week in Tennessee.
Thank you.
That was Tommy Reynolds, second place finisher tonight, finishing just off the race win. A phenomenal battle there with Reynolds. We'll revisit that final restart here after we interview Tommy Withers, third place finisher and hard charger of the race, up 18 spots from starting position, and now looking a lot better points wise than he was entering tonight's race. Entering tonight, he was almost at the cut line. Now he sits pretty well clear of it. All he has to do is keep it consistent at Bristol next week. Tommy, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
I do.
What a drive. Up 18 spots, in range for a chance to win, and a third place tonight here at Kansas. These intermediates have been an absolute treat to watch that 23 car perform at tonight. Walk us through your race, and obviously you have to move through the field and move through the chaos.
Yeah, you know, we didn't get the qualifying effort we wanted, hit the wall on the second lap, so I had to start in the back. And then just kind of my kind of race played out, where I could hang towards the back. I wanted to try to get some stage points. I think I finished like 11th and 12th in the stages, so we didn't get the stage points we were trying to get. But race really came to us. We had a really good car, just really could not get the track position. I felt like everybody was pretty even most of the race, and then, you know, towards the end of the run I could move forward a little bit, but it was just really hard to pass, and cautions kind of came my way there towards the end. Missed a couple wrecks. I was involved in one where Tom Sears flipped, but apparently it didn't do too much damage, and we were able to stay out. It's a really good race for Prophecy Motorsports. Yeah, I was up there, Austin and Patrick were up there, and David Wright was up there most of the night too. So I think we all ran the best we've run together as a team so far.
Obviously it works out, and obviously with Bristol coming up, we know how frantic Bristol can be for you. How are you feeling going into Bristol next week, just trying to make sure you get locked into the round of 12 and move on to the next round?
I like the short tracks. I'm a short track kind of guy, so I think it's important at Bristol just to stay on the lead lap. So as long as we can stay on the lead lap, we should be really good to move on to the next round. I think we're in the green coming into the race. I can't imagine we aren't now. So just hopefully, you know, we keep finishing ahead of those guys and go on to the next round.
Yeah, as of right now, I believe you're sitting, I believe, 8th place. You are good by about 21 points if the mental math checks out there. So you've got a decent cushion to Emma Kruger there, who sits just outside the cut line in 13th position. So a really good buffer there going into Thunder Valley next weekend. Again, a chance for a really good run in the playoffs here with that 23 crew. You talked about how David Wright did well as well, scoring some stage points there. Got back on the lead lap and almost had a good chance there, except for the calamities there at the very end, taking him out of contention there. Prophecy Motorsports looking really good. This is their winning. This is the team's winningest season so far. Obviously, multiple race wins. I think 4 on the season across the team drivers. Obviously, Dustin Painter winning at Atlanta before having to step away. The phenomenal drive and almost another one here tonight. Before I let you go, let you obviously celebrate your podium and get ready for Bristol in a week's time. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours, Tommy. Congrats on the podium and a phenomenal job well done. Hard charge of the race, up 18 spots tonight.
Yeah, just thank you. Just shout out to Dustin Payne, who was in the chat with us tonight, guiding us through and letting us know how our cars looked. And my wife came in and said that, you know, congratulated me on a 3rd place run and said that I did good. So it's always nice when I can get her support and do well while she's watching.
Absolutely. 3rd place tonight here at Kansas. Tommy Withers, congratulations on that podium, and hopefully we get to see even more from that 23 car. Obviously next week, but also going into the next round of playoffs after that.
Yeah, we'll see you Saturday. See you Saturday.
Absolutely, for SNS.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Until then.
Absolutely. Have a good night. That was Tommy Withers' 3rd place finish there. Obviously running double duty, both in SNS and in the ARCS Cup Series. He's been having good runs in both series. making that case really strong for the 23 camp tonight. That was a phenomenal job for Tommy Withers for third place here tonight on the podium. We'll look at the points as they currently run. Tommy Reynolds top of the board, locked in based on points. Daniel Michelle in second place, Bren Roberts third, then Josh Gaiman, Brandon Fetter place, and Seth Wanzing obviously punching his ticket in with the race win here tonight. Tom Sears in seventh, Withers in eighth place. We talked to him. He's looking really good right now. You look at David Wright, Matthew Leiter, Kevin Feemster. This is where it gets a lot tighter. The gap between being in and out, less than 10 points. Kevin Feemster in 11th place, gained a couple spots. Oberstadt lost a spot tonight going into Bristol next week. Ryan Pinnell gained 3 spots after missing last week. Definitely not in a win and in situation. But Ryan Pinnell hoping to improve the consistency. He finished on the podium at the Dirt on Bristol back in the spring, hoping to have a repeat of that performance here next weekend. Emma Kruger in 14th, and a little bit more dire of a situation. Short tracks have not been her strongest suit so far this season. Going to need a little bit of help going into the final race in the round of 16. Jeremy Breo and Austin Purnell officially in must-win situations. If they make the field next weekend, they're going to have to win to make it to the round of 12. The full race results as they run through. It's Proudfoot and Michelle that was qualified on the front row for tonight's race, but it's all about Seth Wanzing and Tommy Reynolds that finished this race 1-2 in a phenomenal battle with Tommy Withers. Mike LaJoy in the third position. Mike LaJoy in fourth, but behind Tommy Withers. As you see the top 18 on your screen, 20 cars technically took the checkered flag. 18 in a reasonable distance to the race lead. Huge battle there at the end. We'll see if we can pull that up for you. Just an absolutely crazy battle here this evening. And we'll walk through it here as we get everything set up here. This was the final restart. Now we saw here Wanzing with an amazing restart. Reynolds and Withers also in the top 3. That's where they stayed on this restart. But all the bedlam was further behind. 3 wide immediately. Wide.
Right there, Edward Marshall gets a little hoo-ha with Stefan Oberstadt. Marshall wrong way around. Thought they could have tricked caution. Then you'll see right here, they're almost 4 wide. Right
they
there.
They were 4 wide, almost 5. And somehow saved it.
Ryan Pinnell gets a little touch with Austin Mongold. And yeah, that could have easily triggered a caution. The caution may not come up for the line, but could have easily taken a couple of cars. And at that point, everyone's just fighting for what they can get.
This battle for third between Withers and LaJoy. Withers trying to hold on to that third spot. We know he does, but it was close. Between the 88 of LaJoy and the 23 of Withers. Withers, a little bit of contact, a little bit of drag racing to the line, and a 3 wide finish for third place. Withers got the best of it. Phenomenal showing.
And again, playoffs bring the best in a driver sometimes. It's the situation where the driver steps up to the lights or crumbles. And we've seen that maybe Withers here tonight. Good example of driver that kept his head down and was able to get a podium out of it. And well, advancing to Seth Wanzing, we saw him charge late and took advantage of some of the misfortunes, and now doesn't have to worry about Bristol.
Absolutely. We got a whole run of content coming this week. Tomorrow night, the HTO Cup Series stays at Daytona, this time at the Daytona Road Course. A lot of road course ringers going to try to take their hand at winning in HTL for the first time. We get to go live. We go live on ABN Esports 2 for Countdown to Green at 7:30. And we'll go live on ABN Esports 1 right here at 8 p.m. Christina Ryan and I will cover that race in its entirety tomorrow night. Wednesday, the chase begins for the ABN Cup Series. One driver will become champion in the Box Cup Series. Who's it going to be? We start that process on Wednesday at Charlotte, 8 p.m. Going to be a lot of fun. And then we also go to Homestead, Miami on Thursday for the ABN Champ Car World Series. The final leg of the Triple Crown goes through Homestead, Miami. That is the next few days in advance preview here on ABN. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, for everyone here at ARCS, the A Square Cup Series, Darkside Mustangs, Midwest Barbecue, Path Michael Commentator, Kevin Young, I'm Carmen, Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay cool, enjoy the dog days of summer. But we'll see you tomorrow night under the lights at Daytona. Until then, so long, everybody.